Hello and welcome to day 1 of the Magnetic Bitch training series. We're going to talk about mindset today. It's going to be like the foundations, the basics, mindset 101 on how to get your brain on your side. So to begin, what does it even mean to have a mindset practice? Does anyone have any guesses? Does anyone know? Do you have one already? I'd love to know. I'm used to being on live calls, so I was about to say drop it in the chat. So, don't do that because I don't think there is a chat, but maybe send me a little email or a note or DM me on Instagram and let me know where you're at with a mindset practice. If you have one, what does it look like? I really, really want to know. There's never judgment from me, okay? So for me, having a mindset practice means having your brain on your side, working from ease and pleasure and trust instead of trauma, force, and worthiness. Knowing that what you're doing is enough. This is a big one, really big. Okay. And understanding that our brains want to protect us and keep us small and safe. And that doesn't always mean that our brain is right. Sometimes, in fact, for me, I know personally, a lot of times my brain is just shenaniganing. Shenaniganing? It's a word. Whatever. It's a word. My brain shenanigans really they pop up. They come from subconscious things. They come from trauma. They come from wounding. They come from past experiences. Our brains gather up this evidence. Our subconscious gathers up this evidence so that it can keep us safe. It's like, whoa, well, we've done that before. We don't like that. That's not safe. We don't want to do that. And really, sometimes we just need to break that cycle, that thought cycle, right? And that doesn't mean we bypass the things, because oftentimes, like I said, our reactions and our brain's response is a response to, it's a trigger. It's triggering a trauma response, or it's triggering something that comes up for us that has maybe been true in the past or has happened to us in the past, or, it's just it's alarming us, right? Like, for example, if you have negative self-talk and you start trying to change that, your brain's going to resist because that's new. It's a new thing. It doesn't know if it's safe or not. So the more we practice, the safer it feels, and the less our brains are going to come up and against those situations. Okay. Having a mindset practice is also having the desire to change the stories we tell ourselves, right? Kind of like what I was just saying, feeding ourselves new healthy beliefs. That is the desire when we commit to a mindset practice. Showing up every day to practice bragging or celebrating yourself or journaling, choosing some affirmations, maybe visualizations, whatever it is that works for you. It doesn't have to be all of those things. It can be one of those things, and it can be something you check in and do maybe once a day with yourself. 5 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute. You build on it. Don't worry about doing it perfectly. Maybe right now it's just choosing one mantra, coming back to that mantra every day and just saying it, repeating it to yourself 10 times. Once a day. Maybe it's first thing in the morning. Maybe it's right before bed. Maybe it's while you're doing your makeup, while you're in the shower. Just finding those small moments where we can implement these things to really set ourselves up for success, setting ourselves up to feel good, to feel better, to just kind of take that dial. And even if it's just a 1% shift to try and do that. So let's see. Yeah. Just retraining our brains to bring that pleasure and the play back into our life and into our work, right? Like into, whatever it is that we do, whether you're, a hairstylist, a business owner, a coach, some sort of service provider, whatever it is that you do, there are ways to bring pleasure, bring some play back into your daily life. Okay. And this is just the very tip of the iceberg. There's so much more I could say about mindset, but because we don't have a ton of time and I want to make this as simple and digestible as possible, we're going to stick to the basics. Okay. What does it mean to get back into pleasure? So you hear me talk all the time about pleasure-based business. What the fuck does that mean? So basically, when our nervous system is dysregulated, we cannot be rooted in pleasure. When our nervous system is going haywire, we go into fight or flight. We usually abandon our bodies. We are not grounded, right? We can't be rooted in pleasure if our nervous system is trying really hard to keep our body safe. We can only create from a place of alignment, pleasure, and ease, right? Or I like to call that flow. When we are pushing through that dysregulated nervous system, and I used to be just dysregulated all the time. Like I was kind of always in a state of like buzz because I just didn't have the tools to bring my body down. But now that I do, I am able to notice when that's happening for me, and I'm able to get myself back in my body, check in, remind myself how safe I am, remind myself that, you know, I'm a bad bitch. I'm a boss bitch. I'm doing really well. I have clients that love me. I have clients that love to pay me. There are more clients out there for me. There's more money out there for me. There is abundance all around me. I get to do this however I want. I get to feel good. I don't have to feel bad all the time. Okay. And those are the types of things that I remind myself and I tell myself when I start to feel that shift happening. And that's when I usually take a break. I walk away from what I'm doing. I do something that ups that pleasure dial just a little bit so that I can get back into my body and feel safe, feel good, even if it's just a little shift, even if it's just for a minute. Then I come back to what I'm doing and I'm able to create from that place. Okay. When I used to push through, right? Force myself to do things. And it was just miserable. It was so awful. And, it took me 5 times longer to do it. And it usually didn't align with the true message I was trying to share, because I wasn't in a grounded state. So we cannot create from that place of push and force, right? When we're in pleasure, our nervous systems are calm, our minds are clear, and we feel happier and lighter. And we can create from that place, right? Whatever it is that we're creating. Maybe it's not creating, maybe it's showing up to work on clients, showing up to a call, showing up to be with our families, whatever it might be. When we are in a state of calm, everything around us is just easier to manage. And it's so much more enjoyable, right? We're able to find what's holding us back, it's usually fear, and work on repatterning or reframing that into healthier new thoughts and beliefs. All right. Our subconscious collects evidence. Like I said earlier, our brains do not know what has or has not been done. So when we give it new evidence, that's what it's going to start collecting and then feeding us. So the more we practice, the more our brain gets used to this whole thing, and the more our brains reinforce these new thoughts and beliefs, this new mindset practice. Okay. And that's why it's a practice, just like everything else. It's something we do. We have to practice all the time in order to grow, in order to get stronger. Okay. So learning how to bring awareness to my own thoughts was life-changing. So I am wanting to, I don't want to say challenge you, but I'm wanting to kind of plant the seed for you to begin the same process, to kind of think about how you're talking to yourself. Think about what you're saying. Think about, what comes up when you feel like you've made a mistake or you failed or you've done something wrong, and how often is that? Okay. So awareness is step 1. That's it. It's like, once you get that awareness in it, it's like, you can't go back. So, then you have a choice, right? You have a choice in how you respond. And it's not always easy. Trust me, I get sucked down my own negative thought spirals all the time. In fact, it just happened to me this morning, and it's okay. I'm a human. I'm made to feel. So we feel the gamut of emotions, right? The whole point is to be aware and then learn what tools we need to best support ourselves, right? Reframing my negative thoughts into healthier ones was so much more supportive than just getting sucked down the terrible thoughts, the negative thought spiral that used to happen to me almost daily. I couldn't sleep for the longest time because I would lay awake in my bed going over and over and over every detail of every day and somehow managing to turn everything into a negative thought. Everything ended up being bad. And it was so hard it was the hardest time of my life, I think. It was the first couple of years after Leo was born and before I implemented this mindset practice. So bring awareness to your thoughts. Don't make yourself wrong. Give yourself lots of grace, lots of compassion. It's okay that I feel this way. It's totally normal to feel this way. What best supports me in this moment? Okay? Think about how you can reframe those thoughts. Think about how you can maybe fill yourself with positive affirmations or mantras, or visualize how you want to feel. Visualize how you want your workday to be like. Visualize where you might want to go on vacation, how you want to spend some money. Visualize money coming into you. There's so many things, right? So many ways. And you're going to have more insight into this in the workbook. But once you kind of find a way to reframe some of these thoughts, even if you don't think you believe them yourself, right? Then we turn to the tools, the actual implementation, the pleasure practices. Okay. And those are the physical things. That's like, maybe I need to lay down under a weighted blanket. Maybe I need to close my eyes. Maybe I need to take a bath, a walk, ask my partner for a massage, go get a massage, have some nourishing food. Like, there's just so many things. Okay. And, just to give you insight, or to give you an even deeper dive on what works so well for me, I'm going to share with you my favorite way to reframe, and it's bragging. And bragging is something that is super edgy for women for so many reasons. And it's something that I want you to start practicing. So it celebrates the goodness in your life. It's something that you love, value, and are proud of. It might be about you, your life, your world, something that's happening to you, close to you, in your realm of consciousness. All right. This is a practice in finding something right about yourself. And it can be anything. So for example, here's a few. I brag that I made a delicious breakfast for my family and it felt easy and fun. I brag that when my son threw a tantrum in the grocery store, I didn't freak out. I brag that I filled my first program in 10 days. And when we practice looking at the things we're doing and really focusing on those moments, those times, like, damn, I'm hella proud of myself for this. This happened this morning. Oh my God. Like, when we start being able to see those throughout each day, we're building more and more evidence of how great we are. We're building more and more evidence of how capable we are, how worthy we are. All of those things, it's a constant reminder of something that is good and something that is right with ourselves. Okay. We are used to looking around us and saying, oh, that's great for you. That's great for you. Good job. You did well, looking at other people and celebrating their greatness. But this is a practice in celebrating your own greatness. And it is my most favorite. In fact, I start all of my coaching calls with brags, and it's turned into something really fun. Because after the first couple times, everyone kind of loosens up about it and they get a little more comfortable, and then the real good juicy shit comes out and it's amazing. So, you'll get in the email you were sent with this video, there's like a few little action items in there. And one of them is to send me a brag. So please send me a brag, reply to that email, and, we will get, I can't wait. I can't wait to hear you brag. I don't care what the fuck it is. It could be anything. It could be teeny, teeny, tiny. So you think. Every brag is huge, by the way. Every brag is worthy of bragging about. But it could be something like so small, so big, so whatever. It does not matter. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.